All right, if you're in a home-based business, one of the biggest questions I've been asked is number one, how to do thumbnails. Number two, are thumbnails effective? Well, in this video, we're going to talk about that when we return. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Now, a lot of people are asking about thumbnails, and the reason why is because you're thinking about doing a YouTube channel, and that's smart because if you are in a home-based business or you're offering a product or service, YouTube is the #1 way to get eyeballs on your site and to get sales on automation. And thumbnails is going to be a very key part in doing that, along with other things that you have to do. And I'm not going to get into too much of that now, but we'll get into some of that later. Now, some of the training I'm going to leak to you because the massive amount of training that I do is for my team. So if you want more training on how to be effective all around, make sure you join my team. But with that said, let's get into thumbnails. Now, first question is, are thumbnails effective? The answer to that question is yes, but thumbnails are not going to rank your video. You still have to do the proper SEO and you have to do the proper keywords if you want to rank it. But where thumbnails will come to play is, let's say you are doing a video on a specific topic and you list that topic as your title, but let's say you're not ranked. Well, what thumbnails can do is thumbnails can still pull traffic to your video because you could end up in what's called related searches. I'm going to demonstrate that in a little bit. And sometimes you can piggyback off of a person's traffic and still grab some traffic in their related searches. And what does that is your thumbnail. So that is where they're going to be very powerful. Now, I'm showing you one video I did for a company I promoted last year, which is Modere, and not only have I grabbed the #1 position in this, but I've also had the most attractive thumbnail because everyone is doing Modere reviews, Modere trim, Modere reviews. It looks like everything else that everyone is doing, but mine is different. And I use specific color, specific title, specific psychology to attract the click, as well as I ranked it. So again, mine says almost died, and that's going to attract more people to click this than anything else. So as you see, I got 27,000 views, so I sold a lot of this product. So let's click on the video. And obviously I get paid for my videos because I run ads across them. That's another thing with YouTube. You can also get paid to put up videos that you want to put up as long as you follow the guidelines. So let me skip this. And let me pause it. So let's talk about related searches. Now, here's my video. I rank #1 for it, but guess what? Even though I rank #1 and I'm getting a lot of sales from the video and I get a lot of traffic from the video, if you look to the right, there's your related searches. Now, a person who has keyworded like I have and has a thumbnail can attract some traffic, and I'm going to show you this. As you see this young lady right here did a video on the thumbnail, and she has Making Money with Modere. She has 6.8K views over the last 2 years, but her thumbnail is not the most attention grabbing. You just see a face. You look at this guy who's a year ago and look at his thumbnail. It's more attention grabbing. So again, if you're looking at mine and you want to gravitate over here, it's just going to kind of pull you over here. Now his thumbnail is good, but it actually could be better. So let me just kind of walk you through the training and psychology of how to do thumbnail. And I'm going to do this in Photoshop. Now there's a lot of ways you can do thumbnail, but I'm just going to cover Photoshop because I believe Photoshop is the most effective. Plus I have designed templates that I can share with you if you have Photoshop and you're on my team. These templates make a difference. So let me go in and show you really quick. So we're going to go into Photoshop, and if you're in Photoshop, this is a blank canvas. I'm going to show you the super easy way to do it. Now, YouTube thumbnails need to be a certain dimension. So we're going to go up here and make sure the dimensions haven't changed. So let's type in YouTube thumbnail dimensions in 2020. And so here is the thumbnails that you want to have size. So again, in 2020, you can do a 1280 and 7 pixel thumbnail. And I would highly recommend that you do the minimum width of 640 pixels. So let's click on this so I can show you. because sometimes the 1240 will stretch it out too much. And so this is your ratio of thumbnails. So you can, have your ratios where you can do it. And, it used to be the 640 one. So the minimum width again is 640. So basically this is your dimensions in Photoshop. So if you set it up here, you do a new Photoshop, and Photoshop will allow you to do your dimensions here. And so this is how you can pretty much do it. Now, for most people who just want an easy way to do thumbnails, I'm going to show you the super easy way without being too technical and just doing drag and drop. So let me cancel this. And basically, if you have done a thumbnail before, or if you haven't done one before, if you're on my team, I will send you one of my thumbnails, and you can take my thumbnail and drag it and actually have the correct size that shows up in YouTube. So let me just take one here. I'm gonna go to my thumbnails. Where did I put it at? I'm just gonna grab any thumbnail I did. So I'm gonna take the one I posted in Facebook. So I'm gonna take this, I'm just gonna drag it in Photoshop, and it drops. So this is a very effective thumbnail I did talking about how Amazon cuts money. So I don't have to worry about the resizing, because the resizing takes a lot of time. So basically what I can do is keep the size, because I know the size is correct, and I can use the size. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go all the way down here, and we're gonna go to duplicate this layer. So I click this button down here, it's right beside trash can. I'm gonna duplicate the layer, and I'm gonna start off with a fresh layer. So again, you have your layer right here over the original photo I dragged in. And so what we're gonna do with this is we're gonna just click on the eye and close it. And guess what? Now I have a blank template. It is already formatted for YouTube, and it is good to go. So the first thing we want to do is we want to think about colors. Now, when you're doing thumbnail, you're doing thumbnails to attract. You're doing thumbnails to get attention. So generally, let me explain about colors. Red means warning. When you were growing up as a child and all your life, you were always taught about, red. I'm sorry, red means stop. You were always taught that red means stop. So that's programmed in your brain. So when you see red, you're automatically programmed to just stop. When you see yellow, you're automatically programmed to, as a warning. So red and yellow are things that will, signify to a person stop, warning. So if you use it in advertisement, then guess what? It's a good way to interrupt their thought pattern to get them to come to you. Now, not saying you should do every thumbnail in red and yellow, but it does help when you want to get that immediate attention. And some thumbnails you want to do with elegance, because a lot of times, depending on your topic, if you're doing something that is related to cosmetics, or you're doing something that's related to relaxation or mindset, then you want to do colors that focus on it. You want to do a nice purple or a nice blue, or something that is calm, because you want to be able to match the mindset of the type of person that's searching for your content. So again, make sure your colors are matching the psychology of the person that you want to attract. So if you want to attract people that, let's say if you're selling a mineral, you want to attract people, you don't want to do red and you don't want to do yellow, because more than likely that's going to send the wrong message, and it's going to have the wrong expectation of what you have. So again, if you're selling something like that, you want to do elegant colors that kind of set a mental expectation, so a person can be in the right mind frame when viewing your video. So let's start off with, let's say we're going to do a video because we have a product that, let's say, well, I do a health product that saves lives. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click over here on this little paint bucket right here, and I'm going to start off with, let's just do a red background, since we talked about red. So I'm going to do something that saves lives. So I want immediate attention, and I want people to know, hey, this is a warning. This could save your life. So I'm going to click here, and I'm just going to color this with my paint all red. Now I have my base color. And so having a base color is a good way to start off. So I can put any image I want in here as my base color. Now, before I go there, what I do want to have is I do maybe want to have a secondary color. And so again, if I'm doing immediate attention, let's say if you're offering a product that saves lives, or if you're on my team, we're actually doing one that is actually healthcare related, then this is a good way to do it. And so what I want to do is I have my base color of red, and I actually put together a folder that I have that I will send people on my team of different things, different graphics that I created that will help. So What I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to go to my folder with my graphics here that I have. And again, this is my extra graphics here that I've done. And so I have different types of graphics I can do to put over it. So we got the first layer of red. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to go over to my other little graphics here, and we're going to grab this yellow. That gives us that nice little pinwheel effect. So now we have the pinwheel effect, and so now this is looking kind of shaping up like a good thumbnail. So we're going to place and add that. And so when you're going to add an image, you want to do an image that doesn't have a background, a PNG image or a vector image that has a background removed. And so in this case, this is way too bright to put something over it. So let's say I'm going to get an image I've already cropped out the background, and I'll do another video probably later showing you guys how to eliminate backgrounds or remove backgrounds from pictures. But let's say if I go into this, and I'm going to use this guy right here already, which I've kind of taken his background out. I'm going to place him in here, and so he's placed in here. I can move him around, I can resize him, which is good. I want to put him right in the middle of the starburst. That's where I want to put him at. And so I'm going to place him, and now he's there. He's cleared up. He's good to go. So this is actually going to be too bright to see him, so I need to dim this background a little bit. So again, as you see my layers right here, before I have him in here, I need to bring something to dim it underneath. That's where I got you guys covered at. So this is my little tools here of extras, and this is my auto dimmer, and you're going to see the difference this makes. So I'm going to go ahead on and put this over top of this, and as you see, I'm dragging and dropping, so it's pretty easy, and that helps with the dimming a little bit. So I'm going to hit here, and he's in the dim, so I need to move him up a little bit, and now he's brighter. So that's a good start. You can actually dim the background. You still have the effect, but it's dim, but it also creates kind of a good gradient effect to where you can still see him. He still pops, and you know, you can see kind of the background, and now you have your attraction. So let's just put a little thumbnail or a little title in here, which is what attracts. So we're going to click the title, and I always like to use impact when I'm doing thumbnails. That's the font I like to use. So we're going to go impact here, and let's think of a catchy title. Let's say your health care is, well, what we're going to do is we're going to change these words. So we're going to say healthcare. I'm going to show you a unique way to play with these words. Healthcare that pays. So I got my words here, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make this one a little bigger, because we want this to really attract. So we're going to change this to about let's say 100. Yeah, there we go, because I want to emphasize that word, that pays. So we got the words in here, they're in black, but it still doesn't look clear on the thumbnail. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to change the color. And so we're going to go to healthcare, and we're going to go here, and what we're going to do is we're going to go, and what I do is I click down here on FX. So you highlight the word, you click FX, and you're going to get a lot of options. So in this option, I am going to go with cover overlay, because I want to change this to a color that's going to pop. More than likely, I'm going to change it to white, because that's going to soften my color combinations. Now you're probably saying, oh man, you can't see that, but don't worry. Let me finish before you jump to the conclusion. So I'm going to change that to white. And what I'm going to do to make sure it's being seen is I'm going to go stroke. And now, because of the stroke, we can make it bigger. We can actually see it, and it pops. And to make it pop even more, I can actually do some cool things, like I can go to my bevel, I can emboss it, I can just change my level of emboss. I can make it a little more solid. I can make it pillow emboss, which kind of gives it a little 3D effect here. Or I can actually go to stroke emboss, which kind of embosses the stroke I have on it, and I can actually increase the depth so it looks like it's almost popping out. I can do the size if I want to, which I wouldn't mess with that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to do the, let's see, which one do I want? I want to do the pillow emboss, so that kind of pops out, makes it look 3D. And again, well, let's think about thumbnails here. If we take it off, that looks even better. So I'm just going to stick where it is. I'm not going to do the emboss, but you can emboss it if you want. That does have certain effects as well, psychology-wise. So I'm going to hit OK, and so that is popping. So you can actually see that really, really good. And now I'm going to do the word that pays. I'm going to hit the effects here. I'm going to go to cover overlay, and I'm going to change it to whites. And we're going to do the same thing. And we're going to go to stroke, and we're going to stroke it here. So now I have this stroked out, and what I can do is I want to emphasize the word pays. So here's what I can do. I want you guys check this out. I can take this word and I can go up here by clicking text and highlighting this word. I can go up here and I can change this word to a little color that's going to offset to green. I actually have to change the whole thing to green, I think. I don't think I can just change one word. Let me give it another try to green. I think I may have to change the whole thing, so sorry about that. Let's just stick with where we're at, because I have it here in black, and I think because I changed the cover overlay here, I'd have to change it into effects. But let's just keep it like it is. I'm not going to get too crazy with it. So now I have a thumbnail that says healthcare that pays, and so I can actually take this thumbnail like it is and upload it. But I want to do one more thing that's actually going to complete this whole entire thing and really make it pop. So I'm going to go to the layer here. And what I'm going to do is, and this is my original layer, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put an outline around it so that it really makes it pop, and it really kind of capsulizes this whole thing, and it puts focus on the words and on the money. So let's do a thing here called stroke. And we're going to change the stroke from outside, because anytime you do a stroke in Photoshop, it's going to do the outside by default, but we're going to change it to inside because we want to reverse the stroke. And as you see here, I can make the size bigger, and boom, I got the stroke behind this, and I can change this color to a nice yellow if I want to. And now we really have an outline that's going to pop. So this is going to grab attention because, you know, look at all the colors around it. And as a matter of fact, let me make that a little bit better. So stroke here. So now we have a really cool thumbnail that we can actually put on YouTube, and I did this in Photoshop, so it didn't take me that long to do it. And if I want to get really crazy with it, I'm gonna do some crazy stuff here. If I want to get really crazy with the thumbnail, I can actually stroke this guy, and well, I can actually put a layer around him. Mine is not great for some of you guys. It's not what I meant to say. So let's find the character, and we can actually put an outline around him. And maybe want to do a white outline. There we go. And now make it a little bit bigger. And now this pops out too. So again, that's a really good thumbnail, and that will take the attention away from someone that's doing a similar topic that I'm doing, and I can actually have this thumbnail that's going to really attract. So get as creative as you want with your titles, get as creative as you want with your images, but it has to be something that's going to capture attention. So again, if you have Photoshop and you have a template or you have a thumbnail, You don't have to worry about the size. You can just do your size. And as you see, I put together this thumbnail relatively easy. And this is how you can actually attract people to click on stuff with colors, with carefully placed words, and with the right image. So this is a little thing on thumbnail if you do have Photoshop, and hopefully this helped you. And again, if you want some of my really cool tools that I put that I have out here, then join my team and I will give you some of these tools as an advertisement for my next launch. And again, I'm going to put the link below for my next launch. Again, we're launching something that's going to be phenomenal. It's healthcare that actually pays people. Again, saves money and it actually pays people. So we're going to be doing that. And again, here's some of the things that I have, and I'm just going to put it over top that can really do some cool things. So again, I have this. That's a really cool thing to do if you want to do kind of like a reveal. So I have that I created. And let's see some other things I have. I have different effects that can actually go and do another little reveal. So you have that if you just want to kind of do a teaser, if you want to really get someone's curiosity and you want to kind of just make them click and do it to a fact to where you want to half reveal something. That's always an effective one too. I've used that quite often. So a lot of different things that you can play with, but hopefully if you have Photoshop, this will actually be an easy way for you to pump out some really cool thumbnails. And again, the crazier and more creative you get, the higher chance you have of someone clicking. Remember, you want to get as crazy as possible. Do not be reserved when doing thumbnails. Be crazy, be loud, make sure, someone can be gravitated to your thumbnails, because this is what's going to pull attention. With that said, folks, thanks for watching the video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.